In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
And this is the Word of God talk show. I'm your host, Maddie.
Hello and welcome. Today we have a very special show. We'll be recapping a tragic tale of a handful of London schoolboys who were deserted on an unknown island and the obstacles between them and their faith.
Hey, wait up! I can't walk with all these creepers around. Hey, where's the megaphone?
I think it's an island. Coral reef out there. I don't think any grown-ups are here.
What's your name?
Bro,
My name is Piggy.
what's that?
That's a stone.
It's a show.
That's right, it is a shell. My friend had one, and you can blow into it and it makes a big sound. Where are we? What's going on? Where are all the adults?
We're stuck on an island, but there's a lot of fruit and we can live on here. There's water. We can have a lot of fun.
How? There's no rules. No adults.
Well, we need a leader.
I'm hungry. Here, little ones. Let me pick this fruit from the tree.
You are a silly little boy, just an ignorant, silly little boy. Don't you agree? Aren't you just a silly little boy? Well then, you better run off and play with the others. They think you're batty. You don't want Ralph to think you're batty, do you? You like Ralph a lot, don't you? And Piggy and Jack? What are you doing out here all alone? Aren't you afraid of me? There isn't anyone to help you. Only me, and I'm the beast.
His head on a stick.
Fancy thinking the beast is something you could hunt and kill, said the head. Hey, wait, I'm just gonna start from there and we'll
Yeah.
go there, okay?
Okay, go.
You knew, didn't you? I'm part of you. Close, close, close. I'm the reason why it's no-go, why things are what they are. Come now, get back to the others and we'll forget the whole thing. This is ridiculous. You know perfectly well you'll only meet me down there, so don't try and escape. This has gone quite far enough. My poor misguided child. Do you think you know better than I do? I'm warning you. Okay. Sorry.
Stop it? Or
I'm warning you. I'm going to get angry. Didn't you see? You're not wanted. Understand? We are going to have fun on this island. Understand? We are going to have fun on the island. So don't try it on. My poor misguided boy. Or else. Or else, said the boy with lies.
I'll cut that out. Just keep going.
Or else. We shall do. You see? Jack and Roger and Maurice and Robert and Bill and Piggy and Ralph. Do you see?
Kill the beast! Slit his throat! Spill the blood! Kill the beast! They're coming! No! No! Stop! No! No!
kind-hearted and very intelligent, and he often pushes knowledge onto other people. I learned quite a lot from him.
So he's kind of like a prophet in biblical times.
Yes, you could say so.
Now we're going to choose people from the audience to discuss the religious allegories William Golding uses in his book Lord of the Flies. Here we have our next guest, Megan Barney. Megan, what biblical parallels did you recognize in this book?
Well, Simon's story clearly parallels that of Jesus Christ. For example, Simon is nonviolent, spiritual, and in harmony with nature. Likewise to Jesus. He doesn't necessarily fit in, however he is liked among all. A specific noteworthy scene in the novel that exploits this includes Simon's confrontation with the Lord of the Flies himself. This resembles Christ's conversation with the devil during his 40 days in the wilderness as described in the New Testament Gospels. This is significant because the Lord of the Flies' harsh, fearful commands can symbolize the devil's evil, intimidating temptations to all. His demeaning words, "You are a silly little boy," directly corresponds to the devil and how he belittles people when tempting them with evil against Jesus' word.
Yeah. Didn't you find that it was ironic that sources say that the Lord of the Flies means Beelzebub in Latin, which in Latin that translates to devil?
Yeah, it makes me wonder if Goldenberg did that on purpose and if he had prior knowledge to that or not.
Isn't it ironic that sources say that the Lord of the Flies means Beelzebub, which in Latin translates to devil?
Yeah, I really wonder if Golding did that on purpose.
Isn't it ironic that sources say that the Lord of the Flies means Beelzebub, which in Latin translates to devil? Isn't it ironic that sources say that the Lord of the Flies means Beelzebub in Latin, which translates to devil?
Yeah, it really makes me wonder if the author, William Golding, did that on purpose as if he had prior knowledge to that definition.
Yes. Okay. I'm here with my next guest, Jasmine Perez. Jasmine, what biblical parallels did you find in the book Lord of the Flies?
One of the biblical parallels that I found in the book was that the island itself resembles the Garden of Eden as its status as a pristine place, but then corrupted by the introduction of evil. The island starts off as a lovely jungle with hot pools and fruit where everyone is in touch with themselves and nature, just like Adam and Eve were. But then the boys become in touch with evil, like the snake spoke to Eve, and the island turns into an unfriendly and savage place.
I also understand that parallel. I also noticed when I was reading the book that the island was filled with temptation that the boys couldn't overcome, just like the story of Adam and Eve. And also the snake in the book represents the serpent in the story of Adam and Eve.
Exactly.
I'm here with my next guest, Bailey Levitt. Bailey, what religious allegories did you find in Lord of the Flies?
I think that the novel Lord of the Flies resembles the biblical story of Genesis as well as modern-day Christian baptism. When Ralph first arrives to the island, his first action is to take off his clothes and bathe in the water. And I think that that exemplifies or also resembles Adam and Eve's nudity, vulnerability, and innocence during their first days on earth. Also, Christian baptism is a holy rite and a major contribution to the Bible. And when Ralph takes off his clothes to get in the water and cleanse himself, I think that he is truly embodying the true spirit of Christianity.
That is true, but towards the end of the book, when he kills Simon, or the rest of the boys kill Simon, he is no longer pure, either of the other boys. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree, and I think that just shows how powerful temptation was and how easily the boys were manipulated at the hands of temptation.
I'm here with my next guest, Adrian Rosu. Adrian, what religious allegories did you find in Lord of the Flies?
While I was reading, I thought when the conch at the end it broke and shattered into 1,000 pieces, it really, all of the holiness on the island really just vanished. It was gone after Simon. And the voice of God brought everybody together, and so did the conch when Ralph blew it.
Yeah, it's funny how all the three things, the conch, Piggy, and Simon, they were all the only things pure on the island. They, died or shattered into a million pieces, and the island just took over. Like the sin took over all the boys. All hope was lost. I'm here with my next guest, Marina Harrison. Marina, what religious allegories did you find in Lord of the Flies?
Well, Maddie, thanks for asking. In Lord of the Flies, I found the religious allegory of the stoning of the prophet Stephen, which kind of paralleled Piggy's death in a way that
Stephen used his spiritual wisdom to kind of like help out the people of Jerusalem.
Okay.
And his wisdom also helped a lot around the island too, such as with the conch. His wisdom of, his friend having one before helped Ralph. Blow on it, make a sound, which kind of turns into a major symbol later on in this book of like rules and structure in society. And another parallel is their deaths are very similar as well, where Stephen was accused of blasphemy, saying Jesus would destroy the temple for the crimes committed in Jerusalem. And while Stephen launched into a strong defense, defending his honor, I guess, the accusers dragged him out into the city and stoned him. And this is similar to Piggy's death in a way that while he was defending the structure that we have to have on the island, he was also stoned by Roger.
With a boulder?
With a boulder, which is a stone. And which also represents the killing of a prophet in a sense.
Yeah. That was great. What also, another death was the death of Simon. Just like the death of Jesus, but Jesus' death brought salvation to the people, while Simon's death just plunged them deeper into corruption. And while Simon, when Simon died, his body was surrounded by glowing sea urchin. Yeah. That represents the last holy and pure influence leaving the island.
Yeah, exactly. So both of the deaths kind of both represent the last good things on the
they were
island.
both doing.
Right.
Hello and welcome to our show. Can you tell us your name?
Laurie German.
So, what biblical parallels did you find in this book, Lord of the Flies?
I think this book relates to the story of Cain and Abel quite a lot. So Cain and Abel were the sons of Adam and Eve, and they were told to give sacrifice to God. So basically, Abel gave more sacrifice to God than Cain, and God favored Abel.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, Cain became jealous, envious of Abel, and murdered him. So this relates to Jack and Ralph, in that Ralph represents Abel and Jack represents Cain.
Because Jack was jealous of Ralph for being leader.
Yes, exactly. And Ralph was working to keep up the fire, whereas Jack was more self-centered and focused on mainly hunting.
Okay.
When the boys arrived to the island, they wandered around and explored, just like Adam and Eve did when they arrived in the Garden of Eden. In a sense, the Garden of Eden represents the island because they both share a perfect habitat to sustain life, however filled with many temptations.
When Adam and Eve arrived to the island, God gave them a set of rules to live by. The conch, in a sense, represents these rules because it is a reminder to the boys of the rules of society they once knew before they arrived on the island. Therefore, when the conch breaks, it allegorically represents the island completely consumed by evil, since in a way, they had broken God's rules.
When Simon feeds the children on the island, it biblically parallels Christ's feeding of the masses. In the Bible, when Jesus broke the bread, he not only satisfied the people's hunger, he also filled them with his love, much like Simon did when he cared for the little ones' needs before his own when he fed them.
Simon's encounter with the Lord of the Flies is comparable to Jesus' meeting with the devil in the desert. In the Bible, the devil challenges and ridicules Jesus, much like how Simon's encounter with the Lord of the Flies is filled with ridicule and chastisement. However, both Simon and Jesus are not tempted by the devil, but these events later lead to their death.
Piggy's death is religiously similar to the death of a prophet in the Bible. In the Bible, prophets used wisdom and knowledge to spread the word of God, much like how Piggy used his knowledge to help the other boys on the island. In the Bible, prophets persecute their beliefs, which is comparable to how in The Lord of the Flies, a large part of Piggy's death had to do with his strong beliefs and opinions. In the end of The Lord of the Flies, the boys were rescued by a naval officer. The naval officer scolds them for not acting like proper English boys. This is much like how people fall into temptation, but will always receive salvation and forgiveness by God. When the boys return to their home, they will be forgiven.